Welcome back to the World Series of Poker Asia Pacific right here in Melbourne. Ever since the poker boom, this game's growth has been fueled by personalities, and no personality is bigger than Phil Hellmuth. He's got 13 gold bracelets and 2 main event wins, but still, not everybody's a fan. Today we're going to talk to a few people to find out why he's such a polarizing figure in the poker world.
Yeah, I think anyone who still thinks that Phil Hellmuth is not a good player, we're getting to the point where he just has too many accomplishments. You can't argue with that anymore. He's clearly doing stuff right. I think it's kind of scary that he's doing stuff right and people can't put their finger on what it is, and that probably speaks volumes about why he's doing so well, you know.
And it's interesting because you see how Daniel Negreanu tweeted about Phil Hellmuth never changing his game and not adapting, but Phil Hellmuth still wins a lot. And it goes against what everyone's saying because lots of people say that he's not as good and he shouldn't have win as many tournaments as he does, but he keeps doing it day after day. Even the other day he made the final few tables of the accumulator, so there's something about it that he knows that he's definitely doing better than a lot of people.
White magic. I mean, I play a style based on my reading abilities, so I don't do things that other people do. They might snap call, I might take a minute or two and then fold. I don't agree with the way that the mathematically solved short stack strategy is. I don't agree with that. I think that you can use your white magic to give you a few extra lives.
Having personalities in poker is really important, and this is one thing that whenever people say anything bad about Phil, the one thing that I always say in that conversation that's nice about him is he's the best thing for poker. He's literally the best thing for poker because when he speaks, the cameras are there and everyone wants to hear it, whether they hate him or they love him or whatever. He causes people to be interested.
Call the race with a queen 10.
Well
I
done.
called the race with frickin' king 8. I knew it, and I just didn't do it. I knew it. I've got the dead read on him twice, and I just didn't act.
People love watching Phil Hellmuth because he's Phil Hellmuth. And he is very polarizing, but I think that's great for the game because no one's apathetic towards Phil Hellmuth. They either hate him or love him.
What's better than that, you know?
Oh, I'm a big game guy. Yeah, absolutely. It started when I was young. I was the oldest of 5, and I was a guy, and all my brothers just had great grades, and I had horrible grades. And so I had to beat them at every game. And so at least that was my salvation, was winning every game. Scrabble, whatever we played, Monopoly, dice, whatever we played, I had to discover the optimally perfect way to play it. And when I lost, that's where the Poker Brat kind of personality developed, because I'd be screaming, yelling, because I didn't have anything left if I couldn't beat them at a game.
Some of it is definitely a show, because he knows who he is, and when I see him win bracelets, he takes the microphone straight up, and then he's just addressing the whole crowd and playing it, and he loves it. But some of his outbursts, there's genuine anger in there. There's an upset man inside that larger man.
I've talked to a few people who seem to know him pretty well, and they said that's not Phil at all. It's just an act. When he's at the table, he acts crazy, and then away from the table, he's the nicest guy. And I've talked to other guys who have played in private games with him, and he's like that at the table all the time. So
100% of the way I act, unfortunately, is natural. Unfortunately. But, I've improved the last few years. I think I've gotten really better at dealing with, I think 3 second places just crushed me. But I managed to shake hands and not make excuses and just shut up and move on. And yeah, I went out drinking, but at least I didn't go off in that moment. So I feel like I've come a long ways, and the Poker Brat, unfortunately, is just me, and it's this competitive drive, this spirit. I have so many critics all the time, no matter what I do. I could win 10 bracelets in the next 7 years, and no one else wins 4, and I still have all these critics, and so, but they drive me, and I listen to them, unfortunately. But that's good, because I think I don't ever really want to be happy, in poker. I always want to be driving, I always want to be grinding, I always want to be learning, I always want to be moving forward and winning.